There's been plenty of cards revealed in a stream that the OCG did yesterday, and they announced a couple of different ones in a lot of different directions. We're just going to look at all of them one by one, and I think we're starting it off with a banger here. We've got Topologic Blaster Dragon. I believe they also announced new like infos about the Chronicles, and there's like Chronicle support in here as well, like I think Springans, some lore archetypes I believe. But first things first, we have Topologic Blaster Dragon. Now, if we look at the history of topologic monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh!, almost all of them have been pretty good. Topologic Bomber Dragon, Topologic Trisbana, and also Topologic Gumblar Dragon, you know, is still banned to this day. So, a lot of good stuff in the Topologic family. So, they're getting a Link 5 now. Let's see what we got here. Level 5 Dark Cyberse Link, 3500 attack. Links top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. Materials 2+ effect monsters, so very generic. You cannot summon or set monsters to an extra monster zone, this card points to. It's funny it specifies set, because I don't know of a way how you can set a monster into an extra monster zone, but anyways. If a monster is special summoned to a zone a link monster points to while this card is in the extra monster zone, apply one of these effects. Also, you cannot apply the same effect of Topologic Blaster Dragon again for the rest of this turn. Shuffle all monsters on the field into the deck except this card. Shuffle all spell traps on the field into the deck. Look at your opponent's extra deck and banish a card from it. Okay. At first glance, seems very powerful. Now, I believe this first portion of the effect is here so that you cannot extra link with it as easily, because that would be a problem otherwise. That's sometimes a problem with cards that have these arrows here, because then you don't have to U-link. You can actually V-link, which is a lot easier technically. So they're making it so you can't do that with it, because it will basically lock you out of your EMZs if you do that. But even besides that, you know, you cannot use this for V-linking, but the effect is pretty powerful. Now, I think the crazy part here is that you get to choose which one is best for the situation, right? If your opponent commits a lot into this, then you can just clear the entire board. If your opponent plays a back row heavy deck, then you can clear all the spell traps. And if your opponent hasn't committed much yet, but you still want to take something out of their extra deck, then you can choose that effect, right? And it works both ways. You can trigger this yourself, which is something that, for example, Topologic Bomber Dragon has been used for a lot, right? Like, you would usually, if Topologic Bomber Dragon was an endboard piece in some strategies, you would try to summon into its zone proactively during your opponent's turn, right? You summon the Topologic Bomber Dragon, like Malice, for example, used Topologic Bomber Dragon for a while, where, like, you waited for your opponent to summon some stuff, and then you would use GWC to bring something back in the Topologic Bomber Dragon zone, and then wipe the board, right? And then you can do the same with March Hare, and so on and so forth. You basically have ways to trigger the effect of Topologic Bomber Dragon multiple times, and you don't have to wait for your opponent to play into it. So this is something you can do with Topologic Blaster Dragon as well, right? Like, your opponent is going to commit some cards, and then you trigger an effect that special summons on their turn, and then you shuffle everything else back into the deck, or look at their extra deck. The interesting part about this card, however, is that it has 3 upwards arrows. So it's actually, like, with Topologic Bomber Dragon, like, it only has 1 arrow upwards, so it's relatively easy for the opponent to not trigger it, right? You basically have to always trigger Bomber Dragon proactively, because your opponent will just not summon into its zone, right? There's only 1 zone it points to, so it's very easy to avoid. This thing, if it's in the extra monster zone, points to 3 of your opponent's zones. So if the opponent is trying to ignore it, they are somewhat limited in like how much they can do, right? They will have to, like, they will have to trigger it at some point if they want to commit a lot, right? So even in some situations where you don't have a way to trigger this yourself, it might still restrict your opponent in how much they can do. Like the other Topologic cards, this card is mandatory. So you will have to trigger it when your opponent summons into its zone. But since you have 3 effects to choose from, it's going to be impossible for your opponent to bait out the one that they want to bait out, basically, right? Like, If your opponent special summons into its zone and you don't want to shuffle all the monsters into the deck yet, then you can just take a card from their extra deck or whatever. This is pretty good. I don't think it's as broken as other generic endboard pieces have been in the past. Like, here's the thing with generic Link endboard pieces is like, you know, you look at cards like IP Masquerena, or even at some points, of course, before it was banned, Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess. I think this card will require a decent amount of investment, but the problem with Link monsters in general is that there will always be a deck that can very easily, like, make this and use it, because like Links only require the deck to be able to spam some bodies, and a lot of decks will be able to spam some bodies. So I think this card will see play at some point. I've seen some critique online, or I'm sure people are not happy about, like, look at your opponent's extra deck and banish a card from it. That part is kind of annoying if this card is like very relevant in the format, because it's like there used to be a time where people played certain cards in their extra deck at 2 because Kashtira Unicorn was in the game, right? And this, if it's a popular card, is basically like Kashtira Unicorn, but your opponent like always has access to it, right? Like because it's in their extra deck. So if you're playing a deck that relies on a certain extra deck card and this card's running around, then you're basically forced to play multiple copies of it. Because it's not like you can say like, oh, I'm taking the risk of Kashtira Unicorn, because even if I play against a deck with Kashtira cards, they're not guaranteed to draw the Kashtira Unicorn. So I don't want to give up an extra deck slot for just the chance that my opponent draws a unicorn. If this card is popular, you're gonna have to play 2 copies of those things, right? Like you will have to respect this. Also, you can just do this going first and going second relatively easy on your first turn and then on your opponent's turn. So you can rip 2 cards, right? Like you can, if you make this going first and you summon into its zone once, then you look at their extra deck, take away 1 card on your opponent's turn, take away another card. Yeah, no, the more I'm thinking about this card, the more I feel like it's gonna see play, and it's very powerful. Because the ability to rip apart your opponent's extra deck is just very, very powerful in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! But it's not only that. It's not only that. It's also the fact that you're able to also out monsters, and you're also able to outspell traps. So no matter what you're playing against, this card will basically hurt every deck in the game, because every deck in the game either relies on monsters or it relies on spell traps pretty heavily, and then on top of that, most Yu-Gi-Oh decks also really care about their extra deck, right? So I feel like this card is good against basically every Yu-Gi-Oh deck. It's very hard to imagine a deck that wouldn't have trouble with this card, you know? But it's at least more interesting than like an Omni Negate or an Appaloosa, even if the extra deck rip is a little weird. It doesn't banish face down, which is fair enough. Like there are some ways for certain decks to get banished cards back, so maybe that's a little bit healthier than Unicorn, but it's still pretty rough. Like it's not easy to recycle banished extra deck cards for most decks. So yeah. Okay, good start. Powerful card. I mean, good or bad start depending on how you feel about this card, but it's definitely a strong Yu-Gi-Oh card. Then we have a new, or I guess an old archetype returning with legacy support. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if there was any archetype that I was not really expecting or waiting for legacy support, it's the BES archetype. I don't know what we're working with here, but all I know is that all of the old BES cards are pretty bad, so I think it's gonna be, I feel like there's I don't know, this doesn't strike me as something that they should have made legacy support for, but let's read the cards first. We have Vic Viper, Type L, Light Machine, level 4, 1200 attack, 800 defense. You can only use the first and second effect once per turn. At the start of your battle phase, you can activate one of these effects. Special summon a machine monster from your hand, or send a level 4 or lower machine monster from your deck to the grave. If this card is destroyed, you can target a light machine in your grave, special summon it, and its original attack. If its original attack is 1200 or less, it gains 1200 attack. Is this supposed to be like new Tenpai? Because I'm not gonna play a card otherwise that requires me to like go to the start of my battle phase just to summon a machine from my hand, or to send a machine from deck to grave. It's meant to send the old Victory Viper. Okay, dude. I mean, yeah, sure. But at this point, we're basically admitting that these cards are going to be pack fillers if this is what you're trying to do with it, right? I understand that Victory Viper, whatever the card was called, like XX03 or something from back in the day, that was a battle phase related card, but like you're not going to make that work. Note, these cards will be released later this month in Duel Links as a structure deck and Master Duel as part of a new pack. Oh, are these the cards that everyone was referring to? Or is this what like when people said like 2 years ago it was Promethean Princess that debuted in Master Duel, then last year it was Halloween, and now this year it's the BES cards? Okay. Well, I'm gonna finish reading the cards first, but I have my doubts that this will be as exciting or as impactful for the game as Promethean Princess. But okay. BES Dellinger Core, level 10 light machine, 1900 attack, 3000 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. You can reveal one other BES monster in your hand, special summon this card from your hand, then place 3 counters on it. During the main phase quick effect, you can remove 1 counter from this card, then activate one of these effects. Add a boss rush or spell trap that mentions it from your deck to your hand. Special summon a level 9 or lower BES monster from your graveyard. Okay, you know what? This card, I'm not gonna hate on this card because this is a solid card. This is a card that a lot of other archetypes would like to have. You know, reveal another card in your hand, special summon it, get some counters. You can remove a counter as a quick effect to add a card from your deck to your hand. So you can theoretically do this again. If it stays around, you can do it again on the opponent's turn. But this one's a fine card. All right, this one is a fine Yu-Gi-Oh card, just in a probably mediocre archetype. But all right, we have Super BES Metal Slave. Okay, I don't know if it's gonna keep that name in the TCG. Level 11 Dark Machine effect monster, 3100 attack, 3100 defense. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. You can send up to 5 level 10 or lower BES monsters with different names from your hand and or deck to the grave. Special summon this card from your hand. Then place counters on it equal to the number of cards sent to the graveyard to activate this effect. Bro! Circular for 5? That is so funny. That is such a broken effect if they had anything that benefited from it, but I don't think they do. I simply don't think they have any cards with good graveyard effects. I don't think they can do anything with this. This is like one of the most powerful tools in Yu-Gi-Oh, but in an archetype that cannot make use of it. But okay. Once per chain quick effect, you can remove 1 counter from this card, then target 2 face-up cards on the field, including a BES monster you control, destroy them. Okay. Yeah, Circular for 5 is here. And then we have Boss on Parade, a continuous spell card. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. When this card resolves, add a BES monster from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, you can destroy a monster on your hand or field. If you do, special a light machine monster with 1200 attack and 1000 or less defense from your deck to either field. You can banish this card from your grave, place a boss rush from your deck or grave face up on your field. This actually has some potential because this is not exclusive to this deck, right? This is something that you could theoretically play in other decks. The only problem that I see here is that the add here is mandatory. So you're gonna have to play BES cards in order to play the parade. It's like the field spells that people used to play for set rotation that require like the mandatory add-on activation, so you couldn't activate them if you didn't have a target. But in theory, this is a relatively strong ability, right? I mean, this card, once again, in a good archetype, this card would go completely crazy, right? Like on activation, add a card from your deck to your hand, and then also destroy a card and emergency teleport. Like that is a really, really strong card in a vacuum. And then it also, I mean, it even has this bonus, but I guess let's read Boss Rush real quick. Here's the thing, I'm not really, I don't remember what exactly the cards do for this deck, but I do know they were pretty bad. Boss Rush Yu-Gi-Oh. Well, this card is ancient. This card came out in Elemental Energy in 2005. You cannot normal summon or set. Ooh, awesome. You can floodgate yourself. During the end phase of the turn that a BES monster or a big core is destroyed and sent to the grave, you can special summon a BES monster or a big core from your deck. Okay, I mean, besides the fact that you're floodgating yourself, and then you only get an effect during the end phase, I guess it could be worse for a 2005 Yu-Gi-Oh card. Because 2005 Yu-Gi-Oh cards normally are either completely garbage or completely broken. This thing is like somewhere in the middle, but I think it's more in the direction of garbage. BES Zelos is good. BES Zelos. When this card is activated, you can add a boss rush from your deck to your hand. All BES monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense. Your opponent cannot target them with card effects, and they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Once per turn, you can special summon a BES monster from your hand. If a BES monster is normal or special, place a counter on it. I mean, it's not that good either, though. It's really not. You made it sound like this card was going to be crazy. It's not that good. I don't think we have to interpret all that much into this. This is fine legacy support, unfortunately for a deck that is basically completely unplayable. Some of these cards read like good modern Yu-Gi-Oh cards, specifically the Parade and the Dellinger Core. Like the new cards are fine. The problem is the deck that you're supposed to put them in, and that deck is pretty bad. So I don't think that 4 new cards are gonna change the fate of BES in modern Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, this is I'm telling you, from a modern Yu-Gi-Oh perspective, this is going to be unplayable. Maybe in Duel Links if they give it a broken skill, you know? But I do think it's a weird choice for this to be like the simultaneous worldwide release in Duel Links and Master Duel. Like why this? Why is this the deck that they chose to do that? The Duel Links skill is a little crazy. It's because it's the 40-year anniversary of Gradius. Gradius is a Konami game. Oh, I see. I didn't even know that. Gradius, Konami. Right, I'm discovering some lore right now. I didn't know the card Gradius was from a game. There was another game they did this with, right? They did this with, what was it? The Baseball Kid was from a game too, right? So if they wanted to cross promote their cool machine game or their cool space shuttle game, why did they make the cards so shit? And this question goes for the original Gradius, but also for these. The question is the same. You can ask the same question back then, and you can ask the same question now. Like, if the 40th anniversary for this game is special to you, then why make the deck unplayable? Why are we hyping up Gradius with an unplayable deck then? Well, okay. The new cards are good. The new cards are like, I would say average for modern Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like, they're not broken. They're fine. 3 of the 4 cards are fine. The first, this is utterly unplayable. But like 3 out of the 4 are fine Yu-Gi-Oh cards. The problem is you're not fixing an archetype that's based around Gradius and Boss Rush and cards from 2005 with 3 new kinda average Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's not how that works. It might work in Duel Links if they make a skill that says, like, you know, reveal Gradius in your hand and then add Graceful Charity from outside of your deck to your hand, which you might think sounds made up, but that's actually a skill that they made for Guardian Angel Joanne right now, and people are playing that in Duel Links a little bit. They have crazy tools to make decks good in Duel Links, because there's a skill that the Guardian Angel Joanne skill adds like Graceful Charity to your hand and summons like 3 monsters from your deck, and you can normal summon Guardian Angel Joanne without tributing or something, which is very busted. But so this deck might be good in Duel Links, who knows? But in Master Duel, this is like one of the worst things to have as a promotion for a new pack. Like, this is not gonna get people to open packs, I don't think. But okay, well, I guess we'll see how it turns out, and I guess it also depends on what else is in the pack. I believe this is this announcement actually for Master Duel. I think it's from what it's looking like. What is this? Lady Dragon Maid? So the Dragon Maid support, and what is this? Nouvelle? Or what is this? I think this is Nouvelle. So the pack is okay, y'all. The pack is Nouvelle. BES is in the middle of the pack. It's like the main thing in the pack is the BES cards, and we've got Dragon Maid support. Y'all, do you think this is gonna be a successful pack? I have my doubts. I don't know. I feel like it might be a matter of just craft the Dragon Maid card because there's not that many new Dragon Maids, and call it a day. But who knows? Next up, we have new Magnet Warriors. Teluzrion, the Magna Warrior, level 8 Earth Rock special summon effect monster. Cannot be normal summoned, must be special summoned from your hand by banishing one Magnet Warrior. Dude, what is this sign called? It's the Sum sign. Oh, is it Sigma? Okay, Magnet Warrior Sigma Plus and one Magnet Warrior Sigma Minus. These are also new cards, right? I haven't heard of these before. Banishing one Sigma Plus and one Sigma Minus from your hand, face up, field, and or graveyard. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, target a monster your opponent controls, destroy it, or if it was an Earth monster at activation, you can take control of it instead. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you contribute this card, banish 2 of your banished Magnet Warrior Sigma monsters. This feels like boss monster design in 2008. Where the boss monster itself is a brick until you can fulfill its conditions in the graveyard. You know, it gives me like Blackluster Soldier, Dark Armed Dragon, Judgment Dragon, Chaos Sorcerer, all those kinds of like Hyperion. This is basically how they did boss monsters like 20 years ago. Is like, okay, it's a dead card in your hand until you meet the summoning conditions. It must be special from the grave, not even from the hand. Okay, so you have to, not only is it a brick, but it's a brick that you cannot even make live. You have to actually find a way to discard it as well. Which, funnily enough, you might think that's better because you get it back for free from the graveyard, but that makes it an even worse draw, right? If you really think about it. Like, yes, you can get it back from the grave for free, but in your hand, it's going to be even more dead. Instead of making it like, you can summon it from hand or graveyard, like some more modern cards have that. I guess it depends on how good the other two are. Magnet Warrior Sigma Plus, level 4 Earth Rock. You can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. All opponent's monsters must attack if able while you control an Earth monster. You choose the attack targets for opponent's attacks while they control an Earth monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior in your grave, except Sigma Plus, add it to your hand or special summon it. Okay, Magnet Warrior Sigma Minus. You can only use the first and second effect once per turn. Reveal this card in your hand. Fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using rock monsters from your hand and or field, including this card. If this card's normal or special, you can send a level 8 Magna Warrior from your deck to the grave. Okay, so that's how you're supposed to access it. Once per turn, when an attack is declared between 2 Earth monsters, you can negate that attack. Conduction Knight Plasma Magnum, level 7 Earth Rock Fusion. 2 Earth Rock monsters, you can only use the first and third effect once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can add a Magnet, normal, quick play, or field spell from your deck to your hand. Magnet, normal, quick play, or field spell. The only one that I can think of right now is Magnet Reverse. Was that called Magnet Reverse? The one they played in ABC back then, which was a Magnet Warrior card, I think. Target one of your machine or rocks that's banished or in your grave. That can't be normal or set, and special it, yeah. Monsters on the field become Earth. You can send a level 8 Magnet Warrior from your deck to the grave. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior. Magnet Bonding, quick play spell. During the main phase, activate one of these effects. Add a Conduction Warrior Linear Magnum plus minus. Or one level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior from your deck to your hand. Add a level 8 Magna Warrior from the deck to your hand. Fusion summon a rock fusion monster by shuffling rocks from your hand, field, and graveyard. Banishment into the deck. You have to read the Conduction Warrior. It's insane. Oh, it's not even out yet. Okay. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by sending 2 Magnet Warriors whose original level is 4 or lower from your hand, deck, or face up field to the grave. Circular for 2. You can only special summon it once per turn this way. You can target another Earth on the field. This card gains attack. If this card is destroyed and sent to the grave, add it to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. Insane is not the right word here. I'm sorry. Like, yes, in theory, this is insane if it's printed in a good archetype, but it's printed in Magnet Warriors. So, I don't know, man. Like, it's just hard for me to get excited for archetypes that I know are basic. It's just way too gimmicky. where's the payoff here? The payoff is a main deck brick that steals a monster, but only in response to the opponent doing something. And there's no locks. Sure, maybe you can splash some of these cards into something. You get a lot of advantage and nothing locks you. Yeah, maybe it's maybe I'm looking at it too much through the lens of an actual Magnet Warrior deck, which I guess in modern Yu-Gi-Oh is sometimes the wrong way to look at cards. It's just what I tend to do when I'm being presented with an archetype or whatever. Like I just look at how is this archetype supposed to be played? How is this archetype supposed to function? Maybe you can make something work where you just use it as an engine in another deck to like maybe it can create rank 4s or something. But is the Conduction Warrior Linear Magnum even like a good one card combo? Like what do you do from this? Like okay, let's say this is the one we play 3 copies of, and we play 3 copies of Magnet Bonding because it searches this one, right? What's the line? We send 2, so we can send Magnet Warrior Sigma Plus, which says if this card is sent to the grave, target a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior except itself, add it to your hand or special summon it. So we can summon Sigma Minus. And Sigma Minus, if this card is normal or special, you can send a level 8 Magnet Warrior from your deck to the graveyard. Sigma Plus and Epsilon. Okay, Magnet Warrior. If this card is normal or special, send a level 4 or lower Magnet from your deck to the grave. This card's name becomes that monster. Then you can special summon a Magnet Warrior or Magna Warrior from your grave with a different name. You can only use this. Okay, so this is a 1-card rank 4 then, right? So like we can go, I see that. Okay, we use this in hand. We send the one that revives. So we send Sigma Plus and Epsilon. Sigma Plus revives Epsilon. Epsilon has been special summoned, so we can send a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior from deck to grave, and then we can revive it. And that's already a rank 4. And if we send Sigma Minus and we revive that, then we can also Foolish, if we play it, the Magnetic Warrior Magnet Teluzirion. So we have 2 level 4s on the board, and later on we'll have the ability to bring this back for free, right? So it's like 2 level 4s and a level 8 off of 1 card without locking. And essentially we have we have 3 spells that start this. We have 3 Conduction Warriors that start this. This one is not a complete brick because it's at least a 1-card level 4, like rank 4, right? This is still a 1-card rank 4. But then it needs the normal summon if we draw it. And these two seem like pretty bad draws though, right? Epsilon cannot revive the magnet it's sent. Oh, with a different name than the cards you control, and because it copies the name. Okay, I see. Oh, that's even worse then. And it's also not a 1-card combo then. Yeah, okay. I do see some of the potential here. Especially since we're looking at a rock monster, so Gallant Granite could just search this, right? It is a rock monster, so like you could search it with Gallant Granite as well. I see the potential. I'm still not a fan of it. Duoterion searches the spell too. Sure, okay, maybe we can even play more copies of the spell. Basically, I see what you mean. These cards are not complete garbage, but ultimately, I still think like it's like a slop engine that I'm not a huge fan of it, and it doesn't even seem like the best one out there. Like I feel like stuff like Ostinato, for example, would probably give you a better deal on this kind of stuff. But like, you know, yeah, rock slop.